Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be working on this STX RC MC36 Rear derailleur. I initially thought I was going to be making an updated version of the MC38 video that I've already published, and in fact no, this is the MC36. The real difference between this version and the updated version is that this version has the anodized brown colored effect that matched the STX group that was released, I think it was 93 up until 95, and the MC38 has 8 speeds stamped on the jockey wheel cage. I think that's the only real difference between the two versions. So today we're going to be opening this up, cleaning it, and then assembling it back together again. So let's begin. Let's remove this anchor bolt. Next we're going to be using a number, I think it's a number 2.5 Allen key wrench to remove this small bolt right here. So insert it, and this is going to allow us to take off the jockey wheel cage. Oops. We can now lift that up and release the tension on that spring. Oh, there's still the Shimano grease inside. So that's the spring, longer tip going inwards into the knuckle. Now we have the two jockey wheels to remove, or pulleys. That'll be a number 3. That's quite stuck. Put that to one side. Let's remove this adjustable barrel. Here you have a seal. We're going to remove that clip now that's here to remove the mounting bolt for the top knuckle. Wear some gloves before you start working. Every time I do this stuff I forget to put them on and then my hands get dirty. So the clip right here we need to remove. Any flat-headed object will suffice for doing that. You'll need to position this clip though in the right way. And that's now off. This should now kind of pop up. Be careful with your fingers. This one seems to be somewhat stuck, but we've got it off. So you have the spring, fairly dry in here. Longer tip down into the knuckle. You have the seal, and get a flat-headed screwdriver to remove the screw right here. I'm going to grab that. What's this called again? B tension screw. Oh, last part's a little bit hard. Must be rusty. Okay, it's off. Hopefully I didn't damage anything. If you look inside here, you can actually remove the spring and it will give you a better access for cleaning inside here. and it's fairly easy to, well, not super easy, but it's fairly easy to take on and off. You'll need something that will allow you to grab it. Let's see if I can do it with this screwdriver. I don't think so. I'm going to grab a hook. This will make it a lot easier. Okay, I've unhooked it now, and that's completely released. You have the limit screws that you can take off as well. Can't find my stubby screwdriver that allows me to do this a lot easier. Right, so I'm going to give everything a good clean. Clearly some degreaser. In fact, I'm going to have to remove this hard old grease. It's the worst kind. That will be some serious scrubbing. I'll let you get on with that as well. And almost forgot actually. This bolt. And you have a seal here. Take that off. Oop, it's come off. Right, so I've given everything a more or less a clean. I managed to find another jockey wheel. I think this is the right size. It's a little bit better condition, this one, than this one. This one's started to get engraved from all the rubbing pro from the chain. So let's put some grease on the parts and then we'll put it all back together again. I'm going to use my Shimano grease. I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to be using that for all my builds. It's pretty good stuff in fairness if you need just a little bit of grease. But I'm pretty satisfied with the Motor X grease, which isn't as performant as the Shimano one, but it's fairly satisfactory. So I'm putting a bit of grease on all the parts that have any friction. Okay, that should do it. Alright, first thing I want to do is hook this internal spring back on. Now once you've removed the limit screws, you can actually get this back on without even any tool. You just need to put it really close, and it actually reaches over to the part where you want to hook it on, and I've just done it, and now it's hooked on. So to keep it in place, I'm going to put the limit screws back in. Now be careful not to cross thread these. You can put a tiny bit of oil or grease, and that will cause less friction when you're screwing them back in, for one. I managed to find my little stubby screwdriver, a Phillips one, and it's way better at grabbing these type of JIS Phillips screws, I believe they're called. Anyway, you slip less. Okay, so now it's pushing on the spring, and that should hold on now. So let's begin working on the top knuckle. I actually filed down a little bit this part because it was, well, as you can see, there's a little bit there that's damaged. I think it will suffice for now. I mean, this is a beat up derailleur. So let's put that seal on, and then we have that bolt that we can run through. Grab the return spring. It's a little bit different to the bottom knuckle one in that the spring is not inverted so much. So we're going to put the longer tip further down into the knuckle here, and there's a hole at the back. So aim for that. There you go, I've slide it in. Next we're going to take the seal, so it's a little bit shorter than the the other seal, so that's how you can differentiate the other one. I don't expect this one to fit very well inside here, as it's pretty much worn. Unfortunately, I don't think Shimano actually allowed you to replace them, and they didn't have any spare parts. And then we're going to put the other tip of that spring inside the hole of this plate, like so. Oh, got it in. There you go, got it. Right, next part, grab a 2.5 Allen key wrench and a plier. So grab the Allen key and you're going to put the short tip through that hole for the B-axle screw, and then using your hand as leverage, we're going to twist this around, and then once you get to that stopper part, you can push down. Sometimes it's a little bit stuck, but you keep pushing and you get there in the end. And then using your thumb, it should hold in place. Push down hard though, because you don't want to hurt your fingers. And then you get the clip that's now going to go underneath the wedge of that bolt. So I'm going to grab the clip, put it just there underneath, and then take a plier and we're going to push that underneath like so. And you can turn this around. I don't know if I can do that with this plier. Yeah. Turn that around to the initial position. Like so, and then that's done. Now take this spring for the bottom knuckle. There's a hole again at the back. It's a longer tip for this one that's going to go inside in this direction, and push that in. Now we have that seal, so I either put it on now or after, and you need to push that into place. I'm not getting it. There you go, I've got it. Push that, seat that all the way down. Right, now grab the jockey wheel cage plate with the integrated bolt, and you're going to put the other tip of that spring into one of the two holes, the left or the right. I believe the left is the more tensions. Right, I've got that in, and you're going to push down somewhat to hold it in place while you're doing this. And you want to keep turning until you get to that stopper part, and then once you get to that stopper part, you push down and hold that in place while we grab the bolt for here into that. We need to insert it back into the hole. And you can now tighten that down. Okay, now for the jockey wheels. I personally like putting a bit of mineral oil on these when I service them, or WD-40, whichever one. And I think it just gives them a bit more of a spin, although I don't think it lasts very long. So we'll put those back on. Now the guide pulley, which should be marked on here, is going to go to the top. So we're going to put that first. Take the number 3 Allen key for tightening down. Really hard to do these with gloves, if in fairness. There you go. Now don't tighten that too much because it will give you enough maneuverability to put the other jockey wheel on. There. I love how Shimano is constantly changing the sides of their jockey wheel bolts. Sometimes they're on the other side. I don't know why, but the my gloves are getting stuck. They're reacting to something, and they're getting stuck on the tools. It's making it very annoying to turn. I'm going to take them off now anyway. Right, tighten that up. And the other one. Now you can put thread locker on these bolts. It does keep them in place. Sometimes they get loose, which is pretty annoying because you lose the jockey wheel. Let's put the barrel adjuster back on. Oh man, I finally got that in. Be very careful when you're doing that. I've damaged so many of them in the past. It's just in such a weird angle to get to. I mean, I guess I'd have to put it originally before I started installing all this, but then after I can't do the that trick with the Allen key. Okay, we're getting there. Lovely. Okay, done. And now for the anchor bolt. And we're done. Right, well done. The jockey wheels are running way smoother than before. So I hope this helped you service your STX RC MC36 Rear derailleur. And until next time, peace out.